So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was this narrow the target. And this really is about saving your energy to do to craft something that actually works for what you're doing this time. And we all start by thinking we've got to communicate to everyone and thinking we've got a vague idea about how it might go. And this is really hard. This is really hard on the storytelling brain to then pick things from the information that you've got to tell this particular story. What you're looking for is to create yourself a framework of a story based around an audience and a purpose, so that you can start to see the data or the information that you need to drop into that framework. What you want is for every bit of data or information that you drop in to make a big splash, to have lots of space, to be really significant to this audience, and for them to stop and go, okay, that's important. What you don't want to do is drown them in all the stuff you know, because you're trying to deliver to every audience and every purpose. So let me show you a picture about that. Here we go. So I need you to ask yourself some questions in this preparatory stage. Who is the audience that you really need buy-in from? And we will often feel like we have got a range of audiences in a room, and you will always have some people who are real tough nuts to crack, rolling their eyes, holding their arms, and that's the person that we tend to have in our heads. So we really need to shift away from that person. That is not the person we're going to persuade. We might bring them along, but that's not where we want to be. So we're looking for our target audience where we could make a change, where we could make some impact. And that audience might bring some of the rest of the audience along. If it's just all tough nuts in the room with their arms folded, I'm really sorry about that. And if that's the case, there is a way that we can work with that. But let's start with an audience that we can be impactful with. Then we've got to decide what they really care about, and then we've got to think about their purpose. So to focus on an audience, I'm going to ask for a suggestion of an audience, one that we could have a think about. Aline, would you be happy to unmute and tell me an audience that you might need to target sometime in the future?
On Monday, I need to give a presentation. I like more post-mortem of a project we did to the leadership team. So I don't know if they will be they will be interested in the results, but not in the specifics probably. So I need to catch their attention.
What do you want them to do with this information afterwards?
To continue this project, because it's a project that we are trying to do every single year, and then to believe in the project and to be the biggest supporter of the project.
Yeah. Okay. So already that's very useful narrowing to know sort of the way that you want to certainly to finish your presentation. At the beginning of before we even like put pen to paper, it would be a very good exercise to think, what are the unspoken questions on this audience's mind? Because the more that we think like the audience, the more we start to craft something that really matches the way that they are thinking and stops matching the way that we are thinking. So again, we're almost tricking our brains doing this. But can you help me with a few, when I say unspoken questions, I'm talking about the thoughts inside their head, not necessarily the ones that they're speaking out. So they're not as polite as the ones they might say to you. a couple of things they might be thinking before this presentation starts.
It's a hard one. They already kind of know the results, so they're probably thinking, why do we need another presentation on this?
Yes.
I think that's the biggest one. Also, not everybody was so involved, so probably a couple of people will care less about the
Yeah.
project.
Okay, so we've got two there. Why do we need another presentation on this? I don't care about this project. There might be a slightly more positive one. Is there anybody in there that might be thinking it's good to see this project has progressed?
Yes. Also, like my manager worked on the project, so he's probably just also very happy to share the results as he worked on it with me.
Okay, I'm proud of this project then, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. So downloading those unspoken questions, and as you can see, as soon as you start to, tune in to that way of thinking, there's more that pop up. So
Yes,
it
indeed.
takes a moment. And so I gave you a little bit of thinking space because it doesn't happen like that. But once you've got these unspoken questions, you're in a place where you can start to mold it to meet where they are. So you could start your presentation with, so you might be all wondering why you're here to listen to a presentation where you already know the results. Well, we're here to talk about the context of what the results mean and how this sets us up for a very interesting journey in 26. For example, something that straight away manages the things that they are worrying about. Or if they don't care about the project, thank you for your time listening to this project. I think hopefully by the end of today, you'll be surprised and pleased to hear that this is a project that's actually going to impact the business case for the whole department. And so we want you to get as excited about where we are as we are at the end of this year, something that speaks to them. But
Yeah.
feel ready to go in and make it feel like the start of a conversation rather than a broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah. So narrowing the target. Who are they? Let's pick ones where we can make a difference. Let's think about what's going on in their minds, what their unspoken questions are, and let's be really clear on the purpose. And so we just briefly did that. We want them to continue the project. We want them to believe in the project. We want them to advocate. And so that's going to change the way you will round off that project, that presentation or communication. Hopefully it will be firmer and you'll make some clearer requests in the way you do it. Again, it feels more like a conversation. You are leaving them with something to think about. So that's it for our half hour. We've done our 3. Well done us. We can, I will just pop this back on for the final picture. This is about continuing your learning from here. So you can sign up to the Story Coach newsletter, which if you came to this workshop, you will all automatically be signed up for. You can go to our YouTube channel and there's lots of useful films there on all different story elements and preparing for storytelling. You can book little taster sessions for your company. We are doing half-day UK taster sessions or 2-hour international ones. And do come and connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always interested to know how people are using the tools, struggling with the tools or loving the tools, all those story tools. So if you're not linked in with me already, do link in. Thanks so much for your time.